let's get to the questions for tonight, okay? Again, the first question is, Dr. Ray, I'm new to this new information and revelations that you are revealing, and I want to say thank you. I have just a couple of questions, okay? And of course, both of the first and second questions from the same writer. First question is, what are your thoughts about Masonry? Now, I've already read the question, so I'm going to read a phrase and then answer it. My thoughts about Masonry, what are they? My thoughts about Masonry is it's an awesome thing to do. It's an awesome organization to belong to. Awesome. Now, why am I saying that? I'm saying it because I'm a Mason, of course. You know, I was taught, as you are, to avoid it. I was taught it was wrong. I was taught it was satanic. I was taught that all my life. Okay. I was taught that, is worshiping Satan, is worshiping Lucifer. There's this group out, or there's a teaching out that Masons worship Lucifer. Okay, that is not true. Please do not believe that. Don't believe the hype. Don't believe, as they call now, the false news. Don't believe that. Masons do not worship Lucifer. Now let's understand something here. Okay, there is what is called the Luciferian element in Masonry, but Masons don't worship Lucifer. Now let me explain what I mean to you. Okay. Lucifer, first of all, these are biblical concepts. Let's understand that. And much of what I'm going to speak to tonight has to do with biblical concepts. Y'all will be surprised, absolutely surprised at how we are influenced by the Bible. I mean, we are influenced by the Bible so much that we don't even realize it's the Bible that's got us thinking the way we think. Okay, so when you talk about Lucifer and all that kind of stuff, you're still talking a biblical concept. Okay, of course, we read about this war that took place in heaven between God and Lucifer, not God and Satan, right? But God and Lucifer, because according to the Bible, and let me say that again, according to the Bible, Lucifer was God's lieutenant in creation. Lucifer controlled creation according to the Bible. I say that again. Okay, so don't take that as fact. Take that as a story. Okay, like once upon a time kind of thing. Once upon a time, there was two powerful beings in heaven called God and Lucifer. Look at it from that perspective. And Lucifer, according to the Bible, Lucifer began to look at how beautiful he was, because according to the Bible, his covering was precious stones and topaz and diamonds and emeralds and stuff like that, right? So according to the Bible, notice how I keep emphasizing that. According to the Bible, he looked at himself and realized how beautiful he was and how gorgeous he was, and he began to think, according to the Bible, he began to think that he was more beautiful, better, and more powerful than God. So according to the Bible, Lucifer said, I will exalt my throne above the throne of God. Got me? Okay, and then this so-called war took place, okay? And of course, God, being more powerful, kicked Lucifer out of heaven and he fell to the earth. Now, that's a deep thing, because out of all of the planets in creation, he had to fall to planet Earth, right? Come on. But again, it's earthlings that are being told this story. Got me? So what happened is Lucifer fell to earth, and because he turned against God, Lucifer became Satan. So therefore, people think that Masons worship Satan. Okay, what is the Luciferian connection when it comes to Masonry? Well, it's simple. The word Lucifer, Lucian, the word Lucian, Lucifer, it means light. Okay, light bearer. All right. So when we say Lucifer, we mean one who is a bearer or bringer of light. In Masonry, light is figurative speaking for the word knowledge. Okay. Darkness represents ignorance and light represents knowledge. You got what I'm saying? So that's how deep this thing goes, man. So when we say the Luciferian element in Masonry, what we're really saying is Masons, being sons of the sun, okay, or children of the sun, are light bearers, okay? In fact, if you look at the Masonic symbol, you'll see a G inside of the square and compass. A lot of people think the G means God. It does not mean God. And others think it means geometry because of the angles of the square and compass. It doesn't mean geometry either. The G means gnosis, spelled Gnosis. Gnosis is Latin for knowledge. Okay, again, knowledge means light, or light means knowledge. So the Luciferian element in Masonry simply means that Masons are knowers or sons of light. Now, that actually is stolen from ancient Egypt, because the title that was given to the pharaohs was Sa-Ra. Okay, Sa meaning a sun, Ra meaning the sun in the sky. Okay, a son of light. Of course, we get light from the sun. So a Sa-Ra is a son of light, okay, or a son of God, because it's the sun. So again, we're dealing with light. We're dealing with knowledge. We're dealing with information. We're dealing with knowing, being a knower. That's what Masonry is really all about. It's about being a knower, not being ignorant anymore. Okay, it has nothing to do with worshiping Satan. It has to do with the concept of light bearer. And that's why, this whole song we used to sing in church, this little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Y'all don't even know that came from Masonry. Okay, Masons sing that. Okay, and of course most Masons go to church, so they took it into church with them. All right, that's what we're dealing with here. So in answer to your question, what do I think about Masonry? What are my thoughts about Masonry? I think that Masonry is one of the best things that we can do as men, okay, is to belong to the Masonic order, especially Prince Hall affiliation, okay, and of course other Masons just as well, but the reason why I say especially Prince Hall is because Prince Hall was an African. Okay, and he realized that what York Rite and Scottish Rite Masonry had done, okay, the British in Europe, is they had actually stolen the concepts and precepts of the ancient Nile Valley principles of original Freemasonry. Okay, so what he's actually doing is returning us back to the concepts that originated with us in the first place. That's what Prince Hall affiliate Masonry is really all about. Okay, so, should you stay away from Masonic lodges? No, of course not. Now, I got to be honest with you, okay? One of the other principles here, okay, about, and I got to tell it like it is, okay? Unfortunately, many of my brethren, okay, who are in Masonry, okay, don't even know the depths of the origins of Masonry. Many of them are, deacons in their church, okay, pastors. Oh, I just had a flashback. Let me share it with you right quick. Okay, I became a Mason in 1998. That's when I was raised, okay? And the reason why I became a Mason, okay, is because I was in St. Louis and I was interviewing for a position of a pastor. And one of the churches that interviewed me, this lady asked me, she said, on the pastoral search committee, she said, Dr. Hagins, what social groups do you belong to? Do you belong to any social organizations? That's just how she asked me, right? And of course, at the time, I was a Rotarian. Okay. I said, yes, I do. I belong to several social organizations. I began to list the organizations I was members of, and she said, that's not what I'm talking about. I said, well, what are you talking about? So she just came straight forward. She said, are you a Mason? Okay, because if you're not a Mason, you're not going to get a church here in St. Louis. Blew my mind, okay, when she said such a thing, because all my life I've been taught from preachers that Masonry is satanic and it is to be avoided. All right. So of course I told her, well, it's ironic you say that, because my pastor at the time, okay, had just had sent in a petition for his lodge. All right. So she said, okay. And that's what she said, because if you're not a Mason, you're not going to get a church here in St. Louis. What a thing to say to somebody who's been taught from preachers all their life that Masonry is sinful. Right. Well, after I was raised, I was doing some consulting work for some pastors in New Jersey, helping them with their nonprofit organization papers and what have you. And I met with one pastor in Irvington, at the Irvington Diner on Springfield Avenue in New Jersey, and he saw my ring. So when he saw my ring, he did a sign, and I recognized it. And I said, Elder, did I just see what I thought I saw? And he started smiling, right? He said, yeah. He said, I was wondering if you could see. I said, yeah, I can see. I see. And I said, but Elder, help me understand something here. I said, because all my life, all I remember you preaching is how satanic and evil Masonry is. Now, what I just saw tells me that you are a Mason. Okay? You know, because see, in Masonry we have what's called certain signs and hand grips that one Mason may know another in the dark as well as in the light. Okay? And I said, man, hey, help me understand this, because all I know you is preaching is it's satanic, it's evil. He said the reason why we did that, and he said we, not I. He said the reason why we, meaning there are others too, the reason why we did that is to keep you young inward, okay, you young, jiggers, okay, you young jiggers away from it. He said, because what good would it be if all y'all join it? Blew my mind. Got me? Okay. So, of course, after finding out that and then, of course, I began to find out so many other ministers in the Church of God in Christ, where I came out of, okay, are Masons, Shriners like myself, it's deep, man, because it's like, okay, here. And of course, after becoming a Mason and ascending the ranks and, not only becoming a Mason, of course, going through the ranks of becoming, oh God, I can't call. I'm trying to call them. It's coming off my head now. Knights Templar, all the way up to Shrine. I'm 32nd degree Mason. I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm proud to say it. In fact, now of course there are those out here today who tell us that Masons are evil. They're part of the Illuminati. Don't believe that bull crap. Okay, please don't believe that book. I'm not a part of no Illuminati. I'm part of a fraternal organization that services our community in a very powerful way. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that there are not Masons who are not a part of Illuminati. And it's important to understand this. And this is one of the reasons why they try to let you know, okay, that Masonry is evil. Okay, now you have to understand the history of what is called the Illuminati. All right. Well, the Illuminati was founded in 1776. May 1st, 1776. You probably heard of the phrase May Day before. May Day, May 1st, 1776. Okay, so a lot of people think that the year 1776, July 4th, 1776, is really the focus of the year 1776. No, the real focus of 1776 is the founding of the Illuminati. On May 1st, 1776, okay? And it was founded by a dude named Adam Weishaupt. Now, y'all don't take my word for it. Write that down, do some research, okay? Because actually, each of these questions that I'm going to answer, I could spend the entire show answering just one question and still would not have done my due justice in answering that one question. So I'm just skimming the surface for you here. Okay, but May 1st, 1776, a guy named Adam Weishaupt, and that's spelled Weishaupt. Adam Weishaupt. Okay, Adam Weishaupt was the founder of what is known today as the Illuminati. Okay, now these are the unrighteous, unholy group. Okay, now please don't confuse illumined ones with Illuminati. Don't make that don't make that confusion there, okay? Illumined ones means simply that your mind has received the light of right knowledge. That's what illumined ones are. I'm an illumined one. Anyone who has received the light of right knowledge is an illumined one, not necessarily a part of the Illuminati. So important to understand. Okay, the Illuminati is an organization that is about world domination and control. Founded by Adam Weishaupt in May 1st, 1776. Now, here's what Adam Weishaupt did. Okay, he told his followers that whatever we do must be under the disguise of another. So Adam Weishaupt and his followers joined the Masonic order, okay, to be their cover for their activities. So consequently, Masonry is getting a bad name because of the activity of the members of the Illuminati who are also Masons. I hope you understand what I'm saying here. That's very important to understand. Okay? Masons are not evil. Okay, when I say that, I'm talking about those brothers who are Masons in their heart. Okay, who are sons of light in their heart, who are light bearers in their heart, whose sole purpose is to bring right knowledge, okay, to those who are walking in darkness. You see, those are your Masons. Those are your, and so when you ask me what are my thoughts about it, it's a wonderful thing. It's actually a part of the mission of liberation, to be honest with you. That's what being a Mason is really all about. Okay, setting the captive free, opening the eyes of the blind. That's what Masonry is really all about. Helping the lame to walk. That's really what Masonry is all about. Okay, now again, you got a lot of young brothers out here today who don't know any better. They have so much what's called false information, okay, because they're listening to this person and listening to that person and listening to this person and reading what this person got to say about it, and they're just, so they're complete anti-Masonic. But what's really deep about it, I'm talking about people in the so-called conscious community. Okay, and notice I said so-called conscious community because there's really no conscious community, but people refer to that phrase. So let me help you understand how deep this goes, okay? Because our Grand Master teachers, in fact, the whole idea of a Grand Master comes from Masonry. Okay, you have your worshipful master in the local lodge. You have your Grand Master, who is over all of the lodges in a particular state. Okay, so this whole idea of a Grand Master is Masonic. So when you say our Grand Master teachers, okay, know what you're talking about, because a lot of people who are being called Grand Master teachers are not Masons. Okay, they just, people just want to give them that recognition, but they're not Masons. All right. So, of course, in ancient Kemet, you had to be teaching the truth for 40 years before you were a Grand Master. Okay. So you got young people out here today who are not even 40 years old, and folk are calling them a Grand Master teacher. Stop that. Stop it. Ain't even 40 years old yet. More or less teaching for 40 years. Okay. So that's the ancient Kemetic principle of becoming a Grand Master teacher. But again, look at the term Grand Master. In Masonry, you have a Grand Master, okay, over the lodges of a jurisdiction or a state. And this is important to understand. Okay, so I forgot what I was saying about Grand Master, but the train of thought slipped there. I got distracted on the other thing of people calling themselves Grand Masters who are not. Oh, I know what I was going to say. Our Grand Master teachers are Masons, Prince Hall Masons. The late Dr. my teacher, the late Dr. Great Warrior Scholar, Dr. Yosef A. Ben Yakinen, Grand Master in the Masonic Lodge. Okay, Dr. John Henrik Clark, a Grand Master in the Masonic Lodge, both of them Prince Hall, by the way. Okay, look at those who are still with us. Professor James Small, okay, Grand Master in the Prince Hall Masonic Lodge, and there's so many others. Okay, so stop talking about stuff y'all don't know what y'all talking about out there. All right, if it hadn't been for Prince Hall Masons, I wouldn't have the privilege of sitting behind this microphone right now. Understand how deep this goes. Y'all talk about the Montgomery boycott. Martin Luther King, a Mason. Okay, Thurgood Marshall, Mason. Medgar Evers, Prince Hall Mason and Shriner. Okay, so if it had not been for Prince Hall Masons, man, we wouldn't be where we are as black people in this country today. And y'all really need to understand that. I mean, I'm serious about that. It's been Prince Hall Masons who have been at the forefront of our struggle in this country. Please understand that. Okay, and stop knocking what you don't understand because somebody miseducated you. Now, I'll say this final point, then I'll move on to the next question. Okay, and that is a lot of young brothers out here today who are seemingly attacking Masonry are jealous. I'm not going to say they're jealous. They don't know what they're talking about because they're not Masons, and they can't be Masons because they won't even pass a background check. You see, to become a Mason, you have to pass a background check. Got me? Okay. In other words, we don't allow criminal activity in Masonry. We don't do that. Okay, so we got to be sure that the brothers who are coming among our ranks, okay, are worthy brethren. Capital W, worthy brethren. You know, so when I speak to you as my brother, I call you my worthy brother, okay, or my companion, okay. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. All right, man. If you're holy, you know, HRAM, Harim, HRAM, okay, Holy Royal Archmason, okay, then you're my companion, okay. If you are my comrade, then you're Sir Knight Hagins. You know, for example, you hear people talking about Noble Drew Ali. A lot of people don't even know that the Noble wasn't his first name. Okay, Noble means you're a Shriner. That's our title as Shriners. You're nobles. Okay, as you know, as Knights Templar, you're Sir Knight Ray Hagins. Got me? Okay, so you know, if you're going to talk to somebody about Masonry, and brother, I appreciate you sending me this email instead of listening to all the riffraff that's out there who can't qualify to be a Mason. Please understand, that's how deep this goes, okay? We are worthy, brethren. We are nobility of society, okay? And we get that respect. You understand? We do get that respect from other people in society, okay? Understand how deep this goes. Now, of course, I'm going into areas that you have to be a Mason for me to understand. I'm not going to share all that with you. You want to really know? Come on and become a part of the craft. Come on and become a part of the order. Okay, join. If you don't like it, leave. It's just that simple. All right? If you don't like it, leave. That's all. You know, don't let all of the hype scare you, or the ignorance of others push you away from it, man. Okay, like I said, if it wasn't for Prince Hall Masons in this country, Elijah Muhammad was a Prince Hall Mason. You see, you got to understand all this, man. You see, well, of course, he was Elijah Poole at that time. Okay, Prince Hall Mason. Okay, the Honorable Marcus Mosiah Garvey, Prince Hall Mason. So stop listening to these ignorant folk who don't know what they're talking about when it comes to Masonry. And again, understand, the reason why Masonry has a bad name is because of the members of the Illuminati who have joined Masonry as their cover. All right? So in answer to the final part of your question was, should we associate with Prince Hall Mason, yes or no? After I'm sure you got the answer to that after what I've just said. Okay? I can't think of a greater organization on this planet. Okay, I am proud to say that I am a member of the largest and oldest fraternity in the world. And I'm not talking about the European Masonry that started in 1770. When did it start? 1717. Okay, I'm not talking about that. Okay, that's their copy. Okay, that they copied what our ancestors did in the Nile Valley. So when I say I'm proud to be a part of the largest and oldest fraternity in the world, I'm talking about what goes all the way back to the Nile Valley. Yes. And besides, I have been raised as well in the craft of Amun-Ra. They're in Egypt, in the temples there. So, yes, it's all wonderful.